In this movie, we're going to look at isolating our corrections to either a specific hue or range of hues, which is called secondary color correction, or limiting our correction to just one physical area of the frame, which is called masking. All right, so I first want to take a look at this shot here. It's just a lovely shot of the lake in the summertime. Let's go ahead and try to make this a fall shot. So let's make all of the green gold. I'm going to just select it and then open up my inspector, Command 4. And you can see that I've already applied a base color correction effect to this. Here's before and after. And now I want to add another color correction effect. So I'm going to go to my color tab, and I can use any of the color correction effects that we've learned. I'll use color wheels. If you want to see this workflow with color board, you can check out the 10.3 movie earlier in this chapter. So I've got my color wheels up, and now I need to isolate the greens. So I'm going to come up here and hover, and then click, and I'm going to choose Add Color Mask. And now I get an eyedropper, and I'm going to select the green values. So I'm going to click and drag, and I only want to get those green values. I don't want to drag too much, but I just really want to isolate those greens. I'm going to go back out to the video inspector, and you can see here that this little color swatch, that is the color that's going to be affected on my correction. If you want to add or subtract hue values, you can. If I hold down Shift, you can see that I get a little plus sign, and then I can drag and add certain hue values to that. If I hold down Option, you can see that I get a minus sign, and I can subtract certain hue values from that. So I'm going to go back and actually just resample my green because I think I was pretty happy with that. And there we go. And now I'm going to go back into my Color Wheels tool set. And let's make this adjustment. So we want to make everything gold. We've got a lot of shadows, a lot of midtones, but I'm going to do master as well. So I'm just going to warm up on master, okay? And then on shadows, maybe a little bit more towards red. And then on midtones, a little bit more towards the golds. All right, and you can see that I have some green values here that didn't get affected. So this is where I would hold down Shift and then drag there, and then we've got those in there now. All right, if I want to soften this a little bit, I can go back out to the video inspector and increase my softness slider. This is going to blend that color mask into the background, which is nice. All right, and so now we've got these nice gold hues. You can keep going though. You can add as many masks as you like. I'm going to go back to my color tab, and let's add another color wheels effect. And this time, let's just make the sky just pop a little bit bluer. So I'm going to come back to my add color mask, and let's grab the sky. Okay, maybe about right there. And I want to grab this part of the sky as well. So I'm going to Shift drag over that area. All right. And we've mostly got highlights, maybe a few midtones, but I'll do the master as well. So I'm going to drag this towards blues, and then on highlights and midtones as well. Okay, and I want to soften that too. Okay, so here is before, and here is after the first color mask. And here's after the second color mask. All right, so you can have fun with that. Maybe you want to come in and on the sky, you want to make a nice sunset. So you can do that as well. Okay, have fun with it. But I think I'm actually going to go back to my blue sky. I'll undo that a few times. And let's move on to this shot here. All right, I want to show you how to apply a shape mask now. So I'm going to come back out to the video inspector. You can see that I don't have any color correction effect applied to this. So let's apply one. By default, if I don't add another one, it's going to activate the color board. But let's add color wheels. And if I come here, I'm going to click and choose Add Shape Mask. All right, so I get this shape, and I can shape it as an ellipse, or if I grab this, I can make it a rectangle with rounded edges or with squared off edges. And then I'm going to just go to about maybe 50% here so that we can see the edges here. Right here is the mask, and this is the fall off. So if I want a very stark edge, I come in close. If I want a very soft edge, I'll bring it further away. And then this is how you rotate the mask. All right, so as you see here, I can affect both the inside and the outside of the mask. So inside the mask, we haven't color corrected the shot at all yet, so let's just make it pop. I'm going to increase my highlights and decrease my shadows. I don't have my scopes up right now, but that's okay. I'm just eyeballing this one. And let's increase the saturation in the shadows and the midtones and master saturation as well. All right, so that fire is really popping now. Now I'm going to move to the outside of the mask. And so let's see, I want to take my master exposure and bring that way down and saturation way down. And now you can see that I've got this vignette. If I want a very stark edge, I'll bring that in. And you can see you can also even choke off the mask by coming in even further. Or I can make that nice and soft by bringing that out. And I think I like about like that. All right, so I've got my vignette. All right. If I want to change the shape and really hone in on just the center of the fire, I can do that. All right. So lots of options as far as applying these shape masks. All right. For my third example, I'm going to combine color and shape masks, okay? But I'm going to do it in a slightly different way. Let's say that we want to leave Mike's cup red and we want to turn Jim's cup a different color. Let's say blue, okay? So sort of a silly example, but I just want to show you how this works. All right, so this time, instead of applying a color mask, I'm going to use the color correction tool set that we haven't really used yet, and that is hue saturation curves. All right, this is actually perfect for this exact purpose. So I'm going to add that, and then I'm going to use my eyedropper and select my red color. And you can see that the control point gets added at that exact value. Now, I've added it on the hue versus hue curve, so as I drag up, you can see the cup change color. All right, going all the way through the color spectrum. If I want blue, I'll stop right there, and I'm just going to go through the whole thing. And there's a little bit of a reddish highlight right there, so let's just increase the colors that we are affecting by changing this curve a little bit. Okay, so you see the problem here. We have blue everywhere. Because the flesh tones are similar to the red cup, when I expanded these ranges, everything is blue. And also Mike's cup is blue, which is what we didn't want. So what I can do is add a shape mask to isolate this correction. So I'm going to go to the very beginning of this clip. I'll press the up arrow, and I'm going to select this clip. And then I'm going to come up and add a shape mask. Okay, and I'll bring it down to the cup like so. And I'll try to make it really specific and decrease my fall off so that it doesn't get other parts of the frame. All right, now let's go back to fit. And I want to go back to my video inspector. And you can see that here's my hue saturation curve. Here's my shape mask. I need to tell Final Cut that I'm going to start keyframing. So I'm going to click on keyframe. And now it knows that I'm keyframing, so I don't have to click on that every single time. And I'm just going to go frame by frame. As of right now, Final Cut doesn't have an automatic tracking function. You will have to manually keyframe this. So I'm just going to press my right arrow and move it a little bit. And again, okay. And I'll move it up. And remember, this is your rotate control. Okay, you might have to change the shape a little bit as you go, but I'll go frame by frame and make sure that I get it across the duration of this video. So it takes some time. I've done this in this sequence here, the end. Okay, you can see that it goes all the way across, and his cup is blue, Mike's is red, and we didn't turn anybody's skin blue. All right, so as you can see, working with secondary color correction and masks are great ways to hone in on the exact area that you want to adjust, giving you a fair amount of control in certain situations.